So you said that blind tasting came more naturally to you. I think that probably came from your attachment to food and the culinary side from the
100%.
beginning.
Because you
Yeah.
remember, as a cook, I mean, I started working as a cook when I was 14.
Oh.
I've never had a job or any position outside of the food and beverage industry in my entire life. It's what I've done my entire life. And as a young cook, you're learning about flavor. I mean, cooking is a lot of instinct, but it also is honing your senses.
Yeah.
It's about being able to smell something, taste something, and I always said, like, I can almost from across the room, I can smell the level of caramelization on a steak or Maillard reaction on a steak when someone's cooking it, and I know when it needs to be flipped from across the room, because you train your senses to know, right? It's understanding balance on the palate when you're doing something like a vinaigrette. You're making a vinaigrette. There's a very clear balance where that balance goes from highly acidic to perfect to too much oil, right? And you learn this equilibrium and all the flavors and aromas that you're exposed to, especially in great kitchens that bring in ingredients from around the world. You're just sort of adding to the flavor and aroma memory data bank that you have, so that your ability to after so many times of smelling and tasting and wine to train your brain to retain that, it's just already set, because that's what you've been doing in a kitchen forever, balancing these flavors, balancing acid and fats and sugar and salt. You're sort of balancing all this stuff at all times, and that had a massive impact on my ability to advance very quickly in blind tasting. And I think that's why I loved it, because it was very similar to what I was doing in the kitchen.
Yeah, and actually, I think there is like lots of technically overlap between like food flavors and aromas and aromas in the wine. So it's not just a similar technique or memorization, but actually they're like,
no matter what I do in the kitchen, I could never create a dish as complex as a great wine, which is incredible. It's a single ingredient food product. And through this sort of miraculous process of fermentation, this sort of alchemy, and through the aging and the elevage and how you produce it, you produce something that is aromatically and texturally flavor-wise more complex than any dish I could ever create. It's impossible.
Yeah, that's so amazing about wine. And also the probably I'm not a cook. I was never good in cooking, but as I see from outside, the goal is similar for a cook and for a winemaker, to make it like a balanced thing, complex but a balance.
It's identical. I mean, when you look at a cook, what they're looking for is to get the highest quality raw ingredient that they can buy, and do as little as possible to get the purest expression of those ingredients to the plate. The winemaker does the same thing in its best form, is getting the highest quality fruit that they can possibly get into the winery, and then doing as little as possible to be able to translate that place using the grapes as a catalyst for that into the glass is something that is very high quality, and it has a certain level of complexity and purity to it as well. It's identical.
Definitely. Thanks for watching this video. You can watch the full podcast episode by clicking here, or watch another interesting video by clicking here. Let's continue the discussion in the comment section, and see you in the next one.